Welcome along, everyone, to Sports Pizza. Glad to have you join us on what is a fresh episode of the show. It's only right I say happy Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim viewers. It's been a month of fasting, and it's great to see that the blessings of the season are already in full swing. Glad to have you join us on the show, this great episode of the show. We'll touch base with some great stories we've got lined up for you here on the program today. Some Nigerian Premier League football stories, we'll touch base with that. What about the under-20s who have got their draws in hand? A lot of that coming to you on the show. Premier League title race has got into very high points at the season. And of course, City and Arsenal going neck to neck. What a game we look forward to this week. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we would introduce the gentleman in the house as always. And we'll get into all the big sporting stories. Stay with us. Welcome back to Sports Pizza. Glad to have you join us. My name is Yubi, and so Ndwonovid. I'm joined by Falana Adeniyi in the studio. Falana, it's good to have you join us. Hope you enjoyed the holidays, which has been a great 4-day weekend, and I'm sure that this is one of the things I look forward to on the calendar every single year. And never mind the traffic in Lagos that disappears literally when the Eid Mubarak holiday comes around. But good to have you here as well.
Definitely, always a pleasure to be on Sports Pizza. To talk sports.
Yeah, hopefully we could grab a slice or two after the show. Let's start off with a story in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Bendel Insurance defeating El Kanemi Warriors. Now, this is a story, if you've been following the show for the last couple of weeks, you would realize that Bendel Insurance literally turned the league to a draw fest. They literally drawn 6 games on the bounce. So it's a remarkable story when they eventually win. The key thing is they're still unbeaten after 15 match days. 3 more match days of the regular season to go before they go into the playoffs. It's been an incredible season, hasn't it?
Definitely, and I think finally they decided to win a game. And the funny thing about Bendel Insurance is the way the score goes. Once they score a goal, in 5-6 minutes, you expect them to get the second one. Even when they concede a goal, next 5-6 minutes, they find a way to get back into the game. And that has been the hallmark of their season so far. And they've decided to tell us that, hey, we are not going to relinquish this top spot in the Group A of their Bridge League. Every one of us should now, also for the second and top position. Talking about the number 1 position, we have this.
They're 5 points clear from Eyimba, who have made an impressive run at the moment, and pretty much a replica of what it was on the final day of the season, the first stanza where Eyimba was second and they were first. So you've got to say that Eyimba have clawed their way back into reckoning there, and also Plateau United, who are now third on the table, which is not great news for teams like Remo Stars, who have drawn 4 on the bounce. What a bad time to start picking up the draws. And if you're pitting Remo Stars, what about Aqua United, who are now 5th with 3 matches to go? You've got to say that, it's an interesting run, because you mentioned already, top spots, Bendel Insurance have taken that. Definitely. Second spots is still up for grabs. 25 points Eyimba have got, 24 points Plateau United have got, and both Remo Stars and Aqua are on 23 points, I imagine. So it'll be an interesting run to the final.
Well, yeah, an interesting one. And I think I want to put my money on Remo Stars, to make it at the end of the day, because off the back of the 2 games they played, the last 2 games they played, I beg your pardon, and they played against Bendel Insurance in Ikene, and against Bendel Insurance,
another draw.
If you get a draw in that game, you should be very, very grateful. You're playing against an unbeaten team who are top of the league. So the next game they played, they went to Aba, and they played a 1-1 draw with Eyimba in Aba. And I'm still looking for the details of that game, because Eyimba equalized 98 minutes of the game. What they were doing for 98 minutes,
on the pitch. You don't know. You don't know. Ask you that.
Share person died. Why they give 8 minutes?
They'll say who died. Right. That's how.
Eyimba equalized 98 minutes. Remo Stars could have, taken maximum point in that game. So I think I want to put my money on the Remo Stars team.
Right. To make it
2 home games and 1 away game. And I'm very sure they want to win those 2 home games in the Kenya.
Of course, let's touch base quickly with Group B of the abridged NPFL 2023 season. Lobby Stars continue to hold forth even after 2 losses on the bounce. Their last loss coming against Sunshine Stars away from home, and of course Doma United. Look at them, 2 wins on the bounce means that they're in second place now. 1 point of Lobby Stars, and Rivers United are in third place. So those are pretty much the spots that matter. The top 3 spots matter in the 2 groups, in Group A and B, which means we'll have a 16 playoff at the end of the season. Right then, let's touch base with Rivers United, who lost 2-0 in the CAF Confederations Cup quarter-final first leg in the Nest of Champions, the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Not their traditional home ground by any means, but they've had a decent run there so far this season in the CAF tournament. 2-0, is that an insurmountable hurdle for the second leg in Tanzania?
Well, I mean, DJ Exclusive will tell us that in football anything is possible. Not that we don't know that already.
Right.
I mean, and I've always said that your own form in African football is very, very key. But Rivers United, they maybe because they're playing away from home, if we're going to look at it, literally. But I mean, Nest of Champions.
They did try to get their games back to the Adoke Messi Amaka Stadium, but CAF didn't quite give them the all clear on that. But I mean, 2-0 at home is it's not an excuse.
I don't think it's not impossible. I mean, this is football; anything is possible again. But against an African team, can they go away and win in Tanzania? That is a very, very difficult.
They done it 2 years ago. They went to Tanzania and against the same side.
Well. That's why I said nothing is impossible. But if you've seen Rivers United this season in CAF competitions, against stronger opposition, they've always struggled to win. And I don't think there's anything Rivers United can do. I think they're out of the CAF Confederation Cup. I think they're out of it. 2-0. Well, once again, nothing is impossible. But I don't want to put my money on Rivers United making it to the semi-final. Of the CAF Confederation Cup. I think they're out.
Well, the good thing for Rivers United is that they're still in reckoning to make the championship. The playoff spots pretty much in the Nigerian Premier Football League 2023. And of course, it was those 2 goals by Piston Mayele that eventually meant that they have to travel to the second leg, hoping to score 3 unreplied goals if they have a chance to qualify into the semi-final of the CAF Confederations Cup. Right then, let's get away from that. Right, still in stories closer to home. Let's touch base with the story you've been keeping an eye on. The under-20 team of the Nigeria, football structure. Are they called the Flying Eagles now? Isn't that what they're called? Right, coached by London Boso. They never won the under-20 World Cup before. That tournament starts in May in Indonesia. They've got the draws now.
It's back in Argentina.
Back in Argentina, I beg your pardon, right? It's been a bit of a change in venue there. Thanks for the heads up there. But you've also got to say that they haven't won it before. They come up against the might of Brazil, who have won it 5 times at under 20 level, and Italy, who have never won it also. And of course, you've got the debutants as well in the Dominican Republic. So, look, they're up against it, aren't they? Yeah.
Well, based off on what we saw at the AFCON under-20 tournament, the Flying Eagles didn't really impress. We have to be sincere with ourselves. I think it's because of the lack of qualities from other African teams. That's why the Flying Eagles were able to get third position at the AFCON under-20. And I think what they went to the AFCON with the mindset of just getting the World Cup tickets. That was what was. I'm very sure that was what was at the back of the coaching crew and of course the players. But Lada Bozo has invited 39 players to camp, and I'm very sure it's going to trim that down to the best legs. And I hope the best leg will definitely go to the tournament for us. I think we should be able to hold our own against Italy. They are not traditionally powerhouse when it comes to 8th grade football. I mean, they become stronger when it comes to the senior level. But I mean, Brazil, regardless of the competition, football, women football, futsal, street football, and when it comes to football, Brazil traditionally powerhouse. So I'm not expecting that to beat Brazil. I think it's going to be a direct battle between Nigeria and Tunisia and Italy, pardon, for the second position. But the good thing there is that, of course, they are still going to pick best losers. But I don't want us to rely on qualifying as best losers. So I think we should be able to hold our own against Italy. comfortably and knock up beat Dominican Republic. But Brazil,
Yeah.
for sure, can beat them.
Well, 24 teams always mean that you have a third place best loser in the group phase. And of course, Nigeria never won the tournament before, but qualified as actually second place best team in the tournament back in Saudi Arabia, 89. And of course, Netherlands, 2005. You go back to the 85 season, where actually the bronze medalists at the USSR, then Soviet Union. So pretty much a bit of a dossier on the Flying Eagles, and all the best for them. Of course, Senegal in the tournament as well as Tunisia, who are both African contingents. Right then, so we pretty much touched base with all of that. And give me a prediction for what's going to happen. I've never taken this from you as far as who would qualify into the championship playoffs, or so to speak, the playoffs in the NPFL this season. Well, you mentioned Bendela short pick.
Course,
you also think that Remo Stars will go through, so I imagine that you'd have one pick in Group A.
Then maybe Enyimba should have enough, because of their history and the quality of players they possess. We can't deny the fact that they have some of the best players in the league. So Bender Insurance, Remo Stars, and Enyimba, I put my money on them.
Group B.
Group A, I think Lobby Stars, despite the fact that they've not won,
Yeah.
I think in the last 2 games,
Yeah.
but they're still maintained top position. So I'm also looking at another promoted team, Doma United,
Right.
that could making it also to the playoff. Then Rivers United, because I think they have backlog of
Games.
games to
Yeah.
play, and so Lobby Stars, Doma United, and Rivers United in Group B.
Great then. I will touch base with 3 stories there. We brought you a story from the Under-20 Flying Eagles, who have now seen their draws for the Under-20 World Cup happening in Argentina, May 20 to June 11th. We'll also touch base with a story from the NPFL as things currently stand, 15 match days, 3 more to go. Keep an eye on that. We also brought you that story from Rivers United, who lost 2-0 at home to Young African of Tanzania. We'll take a first break on the show. When we come back, we'll switch gears to some Premier League title race, which got to fever pitch last week. But there's a big game to come this week, Arsenal at Manchester City. Welcome back to Sports Pizza, and I'm sure you've been just on the edge of your seat waiting for our a rendezvous conversation about the title race, which is pretty much at a fever pitch, an all-time high at the moment. And who would have thought that this Premier League title race would have various twists in the tail towards the end of the season. Arsenal, of course, one of the teams, they've been in imperious form all season, but things are beginning to look very, very shaky. Man City picking form at the right time. So share your thoughts with us, as always, on social media. Send us an email on the email address on your screen as well. Let us know your thoughts. Hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well on Sports Pizza, pretty much across all platforms. Falana Adeni is still here. And I've got to tell you, is an in-house secret, Falana Adeni is an avid Arsenal supporter, but you can trust his analysis to be spot on and neutral here. But let's start off with that story. Title race, Arsenal are 5 points clear, but City have got 2 games in hand. And Arsenal would know that games in hand don't translate to points on the board. So the positive there is that you're still top of the table. Arsenal are still top of the table.
For how long?
But for how long will it last? Big game this weekend.
Yeah.
This midweek, City at the Etihad. When it comes down to it, if somebody told you at the start of the season that you would have to win 1 game against any opponent to win the title, I'm sure that's the bet that Arsenal fans and Arsenal players would have taken at the start of the season. Is that the same feeling now?
Well, I mean, based on what you said, coming into this season, no one thought Arsenal would be at this stage of the season in the position they find themselves. But I mean, fate has brought them this far. But do they have enough to get over the line? I think right now it's looking like under pressure, everything is crumbling under pressure. One, they have the biggest game of the season against City, this week. Win that game, and I think that sends a message to the rest of the team that you're playing for the remainder of the season that, maybe you're back in form again. But the smart money is on City to win, obviously. I mean, with all the players they have. And Arsenal, not really secured, in defense like they had, that they've had during the season. And that's the fear now for Arsenal fans. They feel that just maybe they'll have to settle for second place, at the end of the season. But this is football again; anything is possible. But we've seen that in the last 13 games, they've not won any game against Manchester City. And Pep Guardiola with all the players. Then even they didn't have Erling Haaland, previous season. But they've always found a way to beat Arsenal. Now with a goal machine up front, you don't. I think Pep deliberately, subbed off Haaland against Leicester City so that he can keep his mind fresh on breaking the Alan Shearer's record.
Yeah.
So, and what better way to break it
than against Arsenal, right?
Against Arsenal.
75 points, what Arsenal have now. When you look at the table, they've lost just 3 games all season. Drawn 6 games. So it's those draws that have meant, because they have the lowest, losing ratio in the league this season. It's those 3 draws of late that has meant that they're now in very murky waters. But look, they play at the Etihad. In the end, football purists will tell you it's the same pitch, same size, 11 players. It's about going there, shutting off your emotions, and doing the job. As far as the football on the pitch, goes, Arsenal can play Man City. They play the best football in the league this season, Arsenal. I'm sure you agree with that. But it's that X factor Haaland and the fact that Arsenal don't have a defender in Saliba who could potentially keep him quiet. That's the fear. But it's not about the game, because Arsenal in previous years have gone to the Etihad knowing that it's a defeat.
Sure.
But this season, they know they can go and score a couple of goals. It's what happens keeping the likes of Haaland out at the back.
Exactly, and I think most of the battle would definitely be in the midfield position. How well you can bypass Rodri, which is very, very impossible to do. But we've seen that. Not impossible, but difficult to do, because we've seen that this season he has been one of their standout players. For me, I would even pick him ahead of Erling Haaland. And how you can also keep Kevin De Bruyne quiet. But we've seen Partey over the past 3 games that he has not been the Partey that
he hasn't brought Partey to
the Arsenal team. So I don't think Arsenal have a chance in the game. Just like you said, they can score at any time. Martinelli, Jesus, Trossard, and Saka. But how well we're able to control the midfield is going to be very, very key. Can we bypass Rodri once again? Can we keep Kevin De Bruyne quiet? Those are the 2 questions that needs answer. And because Arsenal needs to provide that answer, when they face off this week in the top of the table.
Yes. Give me a prediction then. Analysis done. We've built up the season to this point in time, and it's incredible how the Premier League unfolds. It comes down to this one game. A lot of people have said if Arsenal don't lose the game here, even if they don't win, they'll go ahead to win the Premier League title. So give me a prediction. What happens there?
I think as an Arsenal fan, because Arsenal Football Club itself, I think they will be okay with a draw in the game. So I want a draw to happen as an Arsenal fan. But realistically, if I'm going to talk as an analyst, I think I'm going with a City win. How well City can win, that is what I don't know. But City should win.
Right then. This game. I get the feeling that you're playing the reverse psychology. Just so you come back and say, look at how Arsenal played. That'd be really nice. But of course, Newcastle continuing to what they've done is basically they're applying pressure on Man United. 6-1 against Tottenham, man. What a way to blow away your fellow top 4 contenders. United, of course, winning that game, semi-final at the Wembley Stadium against Brighton and Hove Albion, who have had a remarkable season so far. As things currently stand, United march to the FA Cup final, the first Manchester derby in an FA Cup final ever, and the 16th actually. A local derby at the final. So it'll be great to see June the 3rd, keep a date with that particular game for the FA Cup final. So as things currently stand, it's that race to the top 4 that we're looking at, and that incredible game against between Man City and Arsenal. Right then, let's get to Spain, where things are pretty much almost been wrapped up. 13 points lead is what Barcelona currently have over Real Madrid. That's it, isn't it? That's the end of it. 11 points, I beg your pardon.
I mean, if they had drawn or lost the game against Atletico Madrid, over the weekend, maybe the pressure on Xavi and his players who maybe they would probably, the pressure would have been on Xavi and his players. But with their victory against Atletico Madrid, the first defeat for Atletico Madrid, by the way, in I think in 11 Spanish La Liga games. So I think Barcelona should have enough. I think they have like 9 games.
Yeah, 8 games to go. Yeah,
8 games to go in the La Liga the race. I think it's done and dusted for Real Madrid. There's no way they can push Barcelona off the top of the table.
So we're done with that story there. Let's cross over to the German Bundesliga, where surprise, surprise, Bayern Munich fans, no new manager bounced there. And at the moment, Dortmund, who Bayern Munich beat mercilessly 2 weeks ago, are back at the top of the table with a 1 point. Bayern Munich losing their last game to Mainz, 2-1. Now, Mainz happens to be Thomas Tuchel's former club, right? He qualified them to, I think, the Champions League when he was there. So, what a game to have his first, league defeat, at the German club. So, look, things have gone from bad to worse for Bayern Munich. Knocked out of the Champions League by Manchester City. Now with a couple more games to go in the league, 29 games already played. It feels as if though their form would only keep going, down and down.
I mean, it's looking like that. 5 games to the end of the season. Very sure Dortmund can feel that. Yeah, I think we can have a go at Bayern.
Yeah.
I mean, they are not in the best of form right now, and I don't know Oliver Kahn and Salimovic. I don't know whatever they are thinking right now. And probably they won't come out to tell us that hey, we made a mistake. But I'm very sure deep down they feel that they made a mistake. Sacking Julian.
Do they fire Tuchel if they don't win the league? 5 games to go this season. It almost feels as if though Agent Tuchel is at work because he was a former Dortmund coach, and what Dortmund will be happy about is the fact that they have played Bayern Munich already, and they're top of the table now. So
let's just do the job.
Let's do our job, because if Bayern were still in the fixture, they would have said, Bayern are going to win us and eventually win the league. But 5 games to go. It looks really good.
I think Dortmund should have enough to win it. With the current Bayern team right now. You can't put your money on them winning any game. I mean, how do you get knocked out of the DFB Pokal and the Champions League and also get knocked off the top of the table by Dortmund? I think Dortmund right now they are playing good football. Giovanni Reina, Jude Bellingham, Karim Adeyemi, Sebastian Haller, and Donny Malin. They are playing good football right now. They have all their players fit at the right time. Same cannot be said. Yeah, Bayern also have a players fit, but they've not been able to play together under Thomas Tuchel. They're not scoring binary numbers goals. 1 goal. A team that wasn't struggling to score, that's the biggest one, and now struggling to score. So I think that will play at the back of any opponent they're facing. That hey, we can have a go at this Bayern, and that is what I mean. You scored first in the first half and considered 3 second half goals against Mainz. So it's a sad time right now to be a Bayern fan.
Yeah,
it's a sad time to be a Bayern fan.
Well, of course, let's wrap it up with the French League on, where Kylian Mbappe scored a brace for PSG. What it means is that they're ever so closer to winning the French League on for another season. No surprises there. But of course, no surprises as well to see what's happening in the NBA, the playoffs. I'm sure you're keeping an eye on it. Once the main playoffs start, if you're an NBA fan, this is the place to tune in for those big playoff reviews. Falan Adeni, always a very big pleasure. Thank you very much indeed for coming. And we would see you next week, where we would have brought you a great story from the Premier League title race, which is continuing to give us more drama and more drama.